Hello and thanks for tuning in. I've got a bit of a different video here today around Lago Maggiore East. As opposed to the track guides or races where you do well, this is a bit different. This is probably one of the worst races that I've ever been in, and I've just never been in something that was more of a mess. I couldn't believe what this race was like. I thought it was going to be quite competitive and good fun, but it was just absolute carnage. I did two of them and they weren't too dissimilar, but this was the more amusing of the two. Did end up seeing a wild Super GT in the lobby as well. He's racing here with us, so yeah, let's get into it. We're going to look from a couple of different perspectives, some of the things that went on, and see some of the crazy things people get up to on GT Sport. So as the lobby loads up, the first thing that I saw was obviously that Super GT starting behind me, which was really exciting. I'm sure anybody that's watching this video has seen countless Super GT videos, and he's what got me into getting a wheel and playing this game a little bit more competitively. So I was really looking forward to having a race with him and seeing what we could do to work our way through the pack. Not many higher rated drivers in this lobby, only the 3 A+ drivers, and I hadn't done much quali, so that's why I'm starting down in 8th place. That's at a 22.585 just after doing a few laps. So let's get into the race and see how it all went. So we're going to ride on board here for the majority of the races. It's only a short one, and making sure that we get out of first gear straight away. There's really short gear in first on this car, so when you get straight out of that, and we're going to be trying to stick on the back of X Power 999 here and see if we can work our way up some places. It's a bit of a peculiar car to drive this in some ways. It just doesn't want to turn in sometimes. If you get your braking wrong, then you're going to have a real tough time if it just wants to understeer, but managing to keep it reasonably smooth so far. Wasn't too displeased with my qualifying time really when I set it, but I guess it's Sunday night and everybody else has had all week to improve their times. This is probably the trickiest corner for me to get right. You've really got to make sure that you hit the brakes correctly there, and you can see Super GT's got a bit of a better run and caught back up with us, but we're nicely in the slipstream here of X Power, so nothing to worry about yet. So this is the last part of the track really that you get from the normal layout, as we are on the east, so the short circuit. So normally you'd go from here down the long straight towards Big Banky Boy, but it cuts off here into this slightly odd corner towards the end. You have to really stay out wide and then come in and get on the power early in the quali lap. But you see there, Steve gets a great cut back on me, and he's going to come flying up the inside here. Got a much better run, so even with the slipstream that I got, he's going to be able to get right behind me and probably go for a move into turn 1, which he does do. Now I try and hold my line, because if you can keep up the inside there, then you've still got a chance to get away, but unfortunately he just bumps me and then I bump him back, so I have to lift off here and let him back in front. I'm not going to try and take each other out. So Super GT has successfully passed us, which was only a matter of time really until that was probably going to happen, but end of lap 1 is when he managed to get it done. So we're going to just tuck in here and hopefully just follow Steve through the pack, because we know that he's going to have the race pace. So I have to slam the brakes on there a little bit to stop myself from going in the back of him. Now here's the first bit where everything's bunching up. Saw their Crazy Fruit going wide, which has bunched the drivers up in front here. Unfortunately we've caught up with him, really not a good place, but luckily he just pulls back ahead there, so we're not going side by side through this section. And with the braking zone coming up at the end of this short straight here, it is a really good place to try and make a move, so I'm going to try and make sure we get on the brakes as late as we can here and get up the inside nicely there. Now this is a sight that you're not going to see every day. This is the view from behind of us then going down the straight, so we're 4 wide with another car in front. Let's go back into my view for see how it's panned out. Now Ziza next to us here, he obviously wanted some more space, but I'm on the edge of the track and he thinks if he just keeps tapping into me over and over again, then maybe I'll go away, which obviously didn't, unfortunately for him. But this is where it's all starting to just get a little bit crazy now. Quiggy and Ziza, or Ziza, however you want to say that, for me were the most sort of aggressive drivers in the lobby, shall we say. I know that we had a little bit of door-to-door there between me and him, but they were absolutely sending it on people, and we're going to see on a couple of occasions here what sort of things they were getting up to. So in this turn I brake where you're supposed to, but those two just no intention of letting me get away with holding that position. They just come right up the inside, use me to keep on track, and then they're through, and I lose 3 positions as a result of that. But they're both fighting with each other so much that it actually lets me come back through. Quiggy then gets hit in the side by one of the other drivers, nearly gets spun off. It's all just kicking off. Again, we'll watch that from another view behind here. So you can see all the drivers side by side. I try to go around the outside, but end up getting driver pushed into me, and then this guy goes up the inside, doesn't have the room, but just makes it, and then ended up actually giving me a bit of a nudge there, which helped speed me along. But we've now got quite a few frustrated drivers around us, so Ziza there just decides to not brake for that corner. He's just going straight on, probably with the intention of maybe taking somebody out, or I don't know if he got punted, but a little bit of madness there. Now as we come down into T1, we're going to go into Quiggy's view, and that was his entry into the first corner. Decided to try and use my door to get ahead, but managed to get on the throttle early enough to hold the position, and we're going to stay up in 7th, and we do just pull away here a little bit. Now they've got penalties to serve from all of the shenanigans that they were up to on the previous lap, so they're going to drop back, and it looks like we've got some clear track here now, so frustrating not to be on that pack in front because of all of the contact that we've had, but I'm hoping at this point that this is just going to be plain sailing now to the end. I'm just going to keep my laps put together, hopefully pull away from the Spanish driver behind, and have a clean rest of my race. But we'll see that the madness is not over yet, and there's still plenty more action to come in the next lap and a half. So looking at the split then, we've got 2.2 seconds between ourselves and Crazy Fruit here. It's looking like they're gone really, but there is a big pack there up ahead, and they're all going to be fighting, so just going to try and get around this corner as quickly as possible, see if we can get involved in the action. As there we see the French driver getting squeezed out wide and dropping right back, and he doesn't take to that very well, and this is his response. So he's coming down behind Crazy Fruit, who didn't actually do anything to him. It was X-Power, and he just absolutely sends it into X-Power and Super GT. So as I come down the straight, I've gone from being 2.5 seconds behind nearly to seeing them all off on the side of the track. Luckily the game ghosts X-Power as he comes back in, but then he unghosts next to me, pushes me wide. The Spanish drivers come through the pack from all of that, and we've got the French driver Skyke now behind us. Now managed to get a good angle to go over that corner, but just get absolutely railed by the driver behind, which unfortunately then sends me into X-Power. I don't think that he was very happy about that. I don't know if he thought that I just made a lunge on him, but he decides to just use the favoured old tactic of throwing the car up the inside and bouncing it off the offside door there. So suddenly at the last lap we're now up into 6th place. Not ideal, could have been higher than that given all of the cars that were off a moment ago, but I'm thinking, do you know what, for all of the madness that there's been in this race, I'll take 6th place. But it's still not done yet, so we've got a couple of angry drivers behind us. I'm looking to see if I can get a move made for 5th, and then here comes the Frenchman, full speed, no brakes. I don't know that he meant to hit me necessarily. He obviously may have meant to take somebody else out, but either way, just absolutely crazy driving, for what should have been one of the higher split lobbies of Sunday afternoon. Some really shameful stuff there. So ended up in 12th there, and yeah, not a race that I'm going to want to repeat, and probably won't be doing any more of it this evening, but that was just a bit of fun. If you enjoyed the video and made it to the end, then please drop a like and subscribe if you aren't already. We've got Nordschleife next week for race C, so that should be fun. Going to be getting into that and trying to put in a decent time, so look forward to seeing you this week for some races, and thanks very much for tuning in. Goodbye.